I'll tell you, one of the races that everybody is paying attention to is in the great state of West Virginia, where we have John Raese has been now taking a nice lead in the polls against the sitting governor, popular sitting governor, Manchin, who's now running as far from Obama and the Democratic agenda as he can. John Raese, welcome to the program. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much, Sean. Appreciate it.
Well, first of all, I love your platform, what you're standing for. This race is crucial if the Republicans want any chance of winning back the Senate. This is for Robert Byrd's old seat. Why do we have a popular governor in this state, relatively popular, pretty decent approval ratings, but nobody wants him to go to Washington? Why is that?
Well, I think a lot of West Virginians are very conservative, as you know, and it's a Democratic state, but it's a very conservative state. And when you look at Manchin's record in the state of West Virginia, those are state issues, but when you transfer that to the federal government, and things like Obamacare and cap and trade and stimulus start to arise, then Manchin aligns with Mr. Obama, and that's why we've made the theme of this camp, we don't want to send another rubber stamp to Washington. And so far it's been very successful.
No, I mean, I think that is key in the race. Has anybody in the media, and I was looking for this earlier today, knowing that you were going to be on the program, I was looking earlier today to see if I could find, has anybody asked him, meaning Governor Manchin, if he would vote for Harry Reid for Senate Majority Leader?
Well, I think that's a good idea because I think he probably would try to do that. But hopefully, when January rolls around, Mr. Reid won't be in the majority.
Well, I agree with that, but the point is that if he did win, I bet he would, which I think is extraordinarily telling. And once he's in there, it's a 6-year term. I think the chances are likely, you're right, this would be another rubber stamp Democrat in the United States Senate, and that would go along with the president's pretty radical agenda. Let me ask you this. There has been a major flip-flop. I see that your opponent, the Democrat, is now trying to sound as conservative as you and I are. Now, think about this. Here, I've got a tape of him on health care before the vote on Obamacare and what he's saying today, and they're two entirely different things. Let's play the tape.
I'd be for it. I think that you've got to move the ball. Ted was exactly right. You have to move this ball forward, right, wrong, or indifferent. I have never, since I've been in the legislative process and since I have been governor, I've never got a perfect bill. I've never got a bill exactly the way I wanted it. But I kept working on it. I said, you know, we don't come back every year to work the legislative process because we're so creative and we have all these great ideas. It's because usually we're trying to make something better. Either we can improve on it or we made a mistake and we got to fix it. And I think to just walk away, you need to praise this president and this administration for sticking with this as long as they have.
Do you like the health care bill that Obama got through? Do you like it?
No, not the way it passed.
Do you like TARP?
Not the way it passed.
Do you like the stimulus bill?
I'm more of a person that you got to have something coming in return, basically. This type of TARP and all that, and you don't see me blaming President George Bush. I said I've been
No, I'm just trying to figure out where you are. You say you're being spared by saying you're rubber stamp, and now you're saying in each case you're not for it.
A while back, you did support the president's reform of the healthcare system in the United States. You were behind it. Now, however,
see, no, I wasn't. Let's talk.
You were support. Okay, I'll give you a chance. You were supportive of it. Now you're calling for a repeal of part of it, right?
Yeah. The president's plan, or the Obamacare as it's been called, is far too reaching. It's overreaching. It needs to have a lot of it repealed.
All right, now, first he said, I'd be for it. We've got to move the ball forward. We've got to praise this president. What do you make of this election conversion of his?
Well, I think he's...
Or campaign conversion.
Yeah, I think he's come to the reality that he's way behind in the polls, and he's a very desperate career politician. He's fighting for his political life, and he's certainly desperate, and he's changed his position on cap and trade. He certainly changes on Obamacare, and he took a lot of stimulus money, so obviously he can't flip on that, but it's a sign that he's got grave concern about the direction of the Obama administration.
So now he's against health care, now he's against TARP, now he's against stimulus, but he took the money, and you're saying he was for cap and tax?
Very much so. He even proposed a carbon tax, if you can imagine that. And here in the state of West Virginia, and currently in the West Virginia, his key piece of legislation is called House Bill 103, which is cap and trade West Virginia, Manchin style. And we do right now have cap and trade in West Virginia.
Well, let me play for you because he now has the latest ad out where he takes out a rifle and fires a bullet right at the cap and tax bill. That's interesting based on his position. Here's his new ad.
I'm Joe Manchin. I approve this ad because I'll always defend West Virginia. As your senator, I'll protect our Second Amendment rights. That's why the NRA endorsed me. I'll take on Washington and this administration to get the federal government off of our backs and out of our pockets. I'll cut federal spending, and I'll repeal the bad parts of Obamacare. I sued EPA, and I'll take dead aim at the cap and trade bill.
And he fires a bullet right at the
because it's bad
bill.
for West Virginia.
All right, now here's just so he praises the president. He praises, I'd be for it, the health care bill, and would have supported it, and took stimulus money, supported a carbon tax, and now he's against all those things.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing. And when I see him shooting that gun at the proposed cap and trade on the tree, he ought to put his own bill on the tree, which is House Bill 103, because that's what it is. And it's sort of a funny gesture.
By the way, that would be a great campaign ad. Why don't you put your own bill up there, and maybe you ought to get out there with your rifle and put it, in the bullseye and take a shot at his bill, which is pretty funny. John Raese, listen, this is a key race, and I'm urging everybody in West Virginia, you need a lot of support there. It's still a little bit close, but you're up in the latest polls, and this is key if we're going to get the country back on track, that you win this race, and we really wish you the best, and if we can help, please let us know.
Well, Sean, it's raceforsenate.org, and you can help, and I just, once again, I appreciate being on your show, and many thanks.
Well, many thanks to you. Thanks for being with us. We'll continue to follow the race, hopefully have you on before Election Day, see how many more flip-flops Manchin can make before Election Day. Maybe we'll count the ways.